Good evening, everyone. We will begin the evening service of the Miroku Association headquarters, expressing our gratitude to God and Meishu-sama for the permission and protection granted while participating today in God's divine plan of constructing a paradise on this earth. Let us pray together the Amatsu-Norito Prayer of Heaven, followed by the Miroku Prayer. Please stand. Taka amaharani kamsumarimasu. Kamuro ki kamuro mino mi mochite. Sumemi oya kamu izanagi no mikoto. Tsukushi no gimuka no tachi hana no. Odono awagi halani misogi harai tamo utoki minari maseru o kami tachi omoro no magakoto tsumi kegare o arai tama e kiyome tama e toma o sukoto no yoshi o Amatsu kami kunitsu kami yaoyorozu no kami tachi tomoni Ame no fuji koma no mimi furi tatete Kikoshi meseto komi kashi komi maosu Miroku o mikami, mamori tamae, saki wa e tamae. Miroku o mikami, mamori tamae, saki wa e tamae. Oshie mi oya nushi no kami, mamori tamae, saki wa e tamae. Oshie mi oya nushi no kami, mamori tamae, saki tamae. Kam nagara tamachi haemase. Kam nagara tamachi haemase. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truths given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated. We will now receive Group Johrei. May God and Meishu-sama bless you. Johrei is now concluded. We will now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. Through religion, know that a religion in which prayers are really answered has the true power to bring salvation to all the world. However lofty or profound its teachings may be, without miracles, people will not be inspired to accept the faith when life's mysteries, which are beyond the scope of reason or logic, can be explained by a religion. It is a real teaching of truth. When individuals join our movement and begin to transmit the divine light in order to serve humanity, they are endowed with a healing power. Every day, miracles are being experienced through our members. What wonderful divine blessings all are receiving. Our teachings help members to reach a better understanding of the secrets of life and to awaken to spiritual truth. Daily living is improved through the understanding and help of the divine light. Each member becomes happier and is able to face the future with a strong faith and a great sense of well being and security in the knowledge of what is to come. Good evening, and thank you everyone for joining us. For you who are joining us online with our through our YouTube channel or Facebook, thank you for joining us in prayer for world peace, praying for our ancestors, praying for our loved ones and our families and friends, praying for all those who are going through so much, too many purifications. It is time now to focus on preparing ourselves for paradise on earth that is to come. Our Paradise on Earth service that will be held now on June 5th. That's when we will have our Paradise on Earth service here at the national headquarters. We will be praying together with all of you, not only in person, but also for those who cannot be here in person, online, through our Zoom, YouTube channel, and also Facebook. It is important to prepare ourselves for that time that is to come by becoming someone that is more and more useful to God and Meishu-sama. Paradise on earth, it is something that is about to happen. It is already happened for some people. I have this beautiful teaching of Meishu-sama that explains about paradise on earth. Meishu-sama says that these words, paradise on earth, they have such a beautiful sound. Some people think it will never happen, that it is only a dream, but I firmly believe that paradise on earth will come to be. Furthermore, I believe that all the signs point to this being the time in our history when it will happen. And I would like to describe the picture I have in mind so you can know what kind of a world paradise on earth will be. Quite simply, paradise on earth is a world of happy people, free from disease, poverty, and conflict. It is a world where civilization has become most highly evolved. How can disease, poverty, and conflict be transferred into a paradise? Now, this is the key issue for us to solve. Since disease is foremost among the three great miseries, a way of eradicating, it must first be discovered. After disease, next is the problem of poverty. primary cause of poverty also lies in disease. The secondary cause lies in negative thinking and the poor administration and defective state of our social structure. Now, the third problem is conflict. Conflict mentality. The cause of which lies in the fact that humanity is still uncivilized. The essential question is how can these three great human miseries, disease, poverty, and conflict, be eradicated? When people join our movement and their spiritual understanding grows, both their physical and spiritual bodies become more and more purified and they become healthier. They are also progressively freed from sufferings of poverty, and their conflict mentality begins to disappear. The numerous changes that have actually occurred among our members truly bear testimony to their more closely approaching a state of real happiness and fulfillment year after year. They improve. Now, when people have been helped spiritually by following the teachings of a religion but continue to suffer physically from disease or poverty, they have only partially been helped. True salvation should include both the spiritual and physical bodies. Thus, it should also bring physical health, freedom from poverty, and a total sense of material happiness, and a contentment for the entire family. Some religions have the power to save people spiritually and mentally, but not materially. For this reason, most people come to believe that the sole purpose of religion is spiritual salvation alone, and that any spiritual path seeking material blessings must therefore be a lesser caliber. This is erroneous. It's a mistake. There is probably no one who does not desire material blessings. When someone is seriously ill and asks for help, others may say that a person should transcend life and death. This sounds a little strange to me because I believe it is almost impossible for any individual not to think about living and dying. We deceive ourselves by suggesting someone can forget about life and death. An episode involving Takuan, a famous Buddhist priest, illustrates this. When Takuan was on his deathbed, the people who had been closest to him gathered around with a paper and pen and asked him to write some words of farewell. He took the pen immediately and wrote, "I do not want to die." Those who were present said to each other, "Such a great priest cannot have written these as his last words. There must be some misunderstanding." So they placed another sheet of paper before him and offered the pen. And Takuan wrote again. This time his words read, "I tell you, I really do not want to die." I think this attitude shows how remarkable he was. Most priests, on such an occasion, in order to impress their followers, would probably write something like, "Life or death, it does not matter." But Takuan expressed how he truly felt, without any pretense without any pretense. I was deeply impressed, thinking that no ordinary spiritual leader could have done this. There are some individuals who advocate certain religious teachings without first having been able to free themselves from sickness, poverty, and conflict. There are intentions, but I do not think this is the true way to become able to help others. Now comes the point that one very important point that Meishu-sama is talking to us members of our organization, all of us. He says, only when you yourself have learned to live happily through the spiritual teachings you believe in, will you be able to help those who are still suffering so they may become as happy as you. And he says, when people see your joyous state, they will begin to feel that the teachings you are trying to share must be truthful. The most effective way to spread a spiritual teaching is to serve as a successful example. Even I did not have the courage to recommend this spiritual path to others while I was still searching for happiness. Thanks God's divine help and blessings, I did attain it. When I knew this beyond any doubt, I became determined to explain the teachings. Paradise on earth will be a world where truly happy people live together as one. This will indeed describe our earth when it becomes a paradise. We will pray together for paradise on earth, and we will prepare ourselves by channeling Johrei to others, receiving Johrei, attending service, visiting our friends who need Johrei, guiding our family and friends, doing the best we can to make other people happy, preparing ourselves, making donations, special donations for Paradise on Earth so that we can build prototypes of Paradise on Earth. Let's prepare ourselves for this time. Okay? I'd like to thank you very much for attending this evening service, and I wish you all a very blessed evening. And with this, it brings to a conclusion this evening service. Thank you, everyone.